Hi, thanks for joining me. Let's take a look at what I've got going today. So I've got a 11 by 14 canvas, and I've put some black gesso on it. I used Bob Ross brand, but you can use whatever brand you happen to get a hold of. This is a water-based paint, so it dries fairly quickly. So I actually used a sponge brush, which looks like this, to put it on, and then I just allow the time to dry. So from there, I'm going to take some liquid clear. We've been using liquid white in some of the previous lessons, but I'm using liquid clear this time. This same deal. This is Grumbacher brand, but the Bob Ross company makes liquid clear as well. And I'm gonna pick up a 1-inch brush. I'm gonna dip it into this liquid clear. You don't need much at all of this. And I'm gonna go up into my canvas. I'm just gonna scrub this liquid clear on the canvas, and it's kind of shiny. So hopefully it doesn't produce too much of a glare when we start doing my demo here. And I could have had this prepped ahead of time, but I want you to see how I prepare the canvas to do, actually we're going to do a waterfall today, so I just wanted you to get an idea how I do the prep. By the way, you could use linseed oil instead of the liquid clear and put it on your canvas, but I will say linseed oil is a bit thinner, so you'd have to put it on very thin on your canvas. And then maybe wipe it down a little bit so you don't get too much on there, because if you get too much on there and you leave your painting sitting upright like I have my canvas here, your painting may have a tendency to slide down the canvas. So you got to kind of wash it. You can see I'm really scrubbing this in. That's what we want to do. I'm not really worried about the bottom of this so much, because I don't even know how much I'm going to even paint down there. So now this looks pretty good, but just to be cautious, I am going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe this off a little bit. Let me make sure I get it here. I'm going to wipe this off just a little bit so there's not too much on here. Looks like I had some green paint in my brush, but hopefully that'll do the trick. I'm trying to look at my camera to see how much of a glare we have. Hopefully this will work out okay. So I'm going to use this same 1-inch brush, and I'm just going to put some color in here. So if you look at what I've got here on my palette, which is just a piece of plexiglass, a square piece of plexiglass, and I got somebody to cut a hole in it for me. And it comes in pretty handy if you don't want to use a very large palette. So I've got some titanium white, I've got phthalo blue, I've got a little sap green, and I got a little Van Dyke brown. And you'll notice I pull out the color. I take a knife, a palette knife, and I pull out the color a little bit, each one of the colors, so I can get my brush into it a little easier and not get paint everywhere. So I think I'm going to start with this blue. I'm just going to get a little bit here. I don't want much. And I'm going to go up in here and scrub in just a little paint. I know you can't see this on the canvas at all, but I'm just putting some color in, just underpainting a little bit. Maybe on down through here. It'll show up later when we add titanium white to it. So that's what I'm doing, just a little bit through here. Don't get too much. Then I'm going to go right into this sap green. I'm not even going to clean my brush. And I'm just going to put some color over here. And a little bit maybe on this side. And while I'm working here, I'm going to pick up a little Van Dyke brown too. And maybe go, I don't know, over here somewhere. A little bit. And a little bit on this side. Now, I realize you probably can't see a thing here, but you just got to trust me on that. There's some colors in here. So with that, let's put this brush aside, and I am going to pick up a fan brush. This is Bob Ross brand. It's a number 6, I believe. So it's the bigger of the 2 fan brushes that they make. Looks like it's got a little bit of green paint in it, but I guess we'll have some green water here maybe. So I'm gonna take this brush and I'm gonna dip it into some titanium white. Just loading my brush up here. And I'm gonna go up in here somewhere and just pick a place and maybe just kind of brush it across like so. See how it's picking up that blue color I laid down? Tell you what, before I get going too far here, I'm gonna pick up some glasses so I can see what I'm doing. And hopefully you can see that okay. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. But I'm going to pretend that there's the stream coming toward me from somewhere, maybe out here in the field somewhere. So if you can see there, I always call this like an upside down tornado. That's kind of the shape I'm shooting for. And so I come down this way, and what I want to do here is I'm going to try to create a waterfall effect. So as I come down here, you take your brush, you go across and go straight down like so. And not like this. Don't arc it over like this. Go there and straight down. And as you go down, you kind of lift your brush up as you move down the canvas. But you want to do this fairly quickly. So let's say we're coming here, and let's say the water's dropping off right there. And maybe a little more here. Let's take it on down. You don't want to brush this too many times though, because if you do, you'll lose it. So that's pretty good there, like we've got it. Now, once I've got this, I can go in down here, just somewhere in here, just using the corner of my fan brush. Maybe put some little splashy areas here where the water's touching down below and maybe splashing a bit. So I'm gonna take it like that, and I'm gonna pick up, let's see if I can find another brush here real quick. Maybe I can find a clean 1-inch or a 2-inch brush here. I've got a 2-inch here, so I'm gonna just pick up a 2-inch, and you could use a 1-inch if you want. But I'm gonna take the corner of my brush, and I'm just gonna tap out where I put this paint with my 2-inch brush. And you could use a 1-inch, but I only got the one handy here, so. And I'm using, if you look, I'm taking my brush and it's hitting just with that part of the brush. So I'm gonna tap this out, kind of mist it out. Maybe go up in here. You can probably hear the brush hitting the canvas. So kind of like this. Maybe take it up in there a little bit more. And I could pick up my fan brush and maybe add a little more in here just to make it interesting. Maybe a little here, maybe a little over here. And that's a waterfall. Now what I want to do, once I get it down here, I'm gonna be a little picky here and just grab this and straighten that up just a little bit. Once I get it down here, I can go underneath here. Let's assume that some water's hitting here, and as it comes out, same kind of a deal. We're doing an upside down tornado shape, and if you want to get fancy, you could put a little bit of a drop off there. But I'm just kind of bringing it out toward me. As it gets closer, it gets wider. It's all about perspective. And that gives you an idea. So look, we got to see that shape there. It's kind of a triangle, upside down triangle. So it's or an upside down tornado, if you will. That's how I kind of describe the shape. And I'm just kind of overdoing it here, brushing it in, just to give you an idea of how it works. So horizontal brush strokes. Make sure you go horizontal. is flat. Okay, so you don't want to go, something weird like going up like that or like that. Keep it so it's flat. So anyhow, we've got a little waterfall here, and what I want to do, just because, and I forgot something. I actually could use some yellow paint if I can find it. So let me look here for a second, and if I can get some yellow paint, I'll put it on here, because I want to put some maybe some grass or something up in there, just to kind of tie this in a little bit. So you know what, I'm finding some, it looks like yellow ochre, which I prefer a bright yellow, but that's what I got handy right now, so that's what I use. So I'm gonna pick up a fan brush, same deal, number 6. I just picked up another one because I got an extra here, and I'm just gonna go up in here and just kind of tie this in. So maybe on this side, we'll just do some kind of the illusion of some grass or something here, coming down to the edge of the stream. Now you wouldn't have to use a fan brush with this. You could use a 1-inch brush. You could use a 2-inch brush. But I've got a fan brush handy here, so that's what I'm working on. And I'm not going to do all this because this is really a demonstration for a waterfall. But I just wanted to kind of tie it in a little bit, so to give you an idea how this could work. All right, so just maybe a little more over here. I'm getting a little glare on my canvas here, so I'm not quite sure how this is looking, but I guess we'll find out later. So I'm just tying this in. Now, once I get down to where the water drops off, the actual waterfall begins, if I wanted to, I could take a palette knife, if I can find one handy here. I'll grab a palette knife, and we can do some rocks in place. So I got a palette knife, and what I'm going to do with this palette knife is pick up a little bit of the Van Dyke brown, and I'm going to put a bead of paint on my knife, just taking it across like this, kind of pull it across diagonally, and you get a little bead of paint on here. Maybe you can see that. So I'm going to go up here. Hopefully my hand's not in your way here, and I'm going to go right across here and kind of zigzagging this across. Now this isn't a lesson for rocks right now, but I want to go ahead and tie this in and kind of make it complete for you, just so you can see how to do the waterfall. And then maybe I'm gonna pull this down just because a little bit. So maybe put a little bit of a rock ledge in there. Same deal, loading my palette knife again, pulling it out to the brown paint, putting a little bead of paint on my knife. You can see that there. And then I'm gonna go on this side and maybe drop a little ledge of some sort here too, pulling the paint down just to tie it in. And then I'm going to go directly over top of that with some titanium white. It's got a little brown mixed in, which is fine. You know what, I could add a little yellow ochre to it too, just to get some color here. Maybe a little more yellow ochre, just to make it nice and pretty. So let's see here. So same deal, getting a bead of paint. I got a lot of paint on here. I'm not that worried about it. And then we'll go across like this, kind of zigzagging with my knife, pressing down on my knife pretty hard. And maybe go here, pull down. And it just made a bit of a rock ledge. Let's go over to the other side, tie this in. Same deal, bead of paint on my knife, cross like this, and right underneath it, not too much paint on your knife. I got a little bit on there, but I'm gonna angle it to where it doesn't pick up too much paint, and then something like this. So that sets you in a waterfall. So really, that's kind of all there is to it. So hopefully this helped you out, and I tell you what, if you have a request of something you'd like to see, put a comment below, and I'll see if I can put something together for you. And with that said, keep painting, and thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon.